The
It's
values,
happy, lot more people are turning towards Ayurvedic herbs because there is no other solutions.
the value is more perceived, more
Yes,
understood.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, just having people at home all the time has changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In last 12 years that I'm in business, nobody ever asked me Giloy, and now every single person is asking, where is Giloy? Where is Guduchi?
Welcome to the Ayurvedic Association of Canada. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes. I'll introduce Dr. Jay to you. And Dr. Jay, I'm just going to do a brief introduction. So if there's anything else you'd like to add, please do.
Please.
And then we'll just let you do the most important part of this webinar.
Sure.
So welcome. And we'll just start in a couple of minutes and then people can just join in. I don't like being late for people. I like making sure we're on time and we respect people's time. And then at the end of the webinar, you'll have an opportunity to ask some questions of Dr. Jay. So you can either do them in the chat box, or you'll be able to, or you can unmute yourself for a moment and ask a question, and then please mute yourself again. All right, I'm going to start. So welcome, Dr. Jay. Thank you very much for being here in Canada to be part of our Ayurvedic Association of Canada. Dr. Jay has been my teacher for a long time, and he does an amazing job of teaching his students how to look after themselves, how to become better practitioners and doctors and clinicians. So I'm very happy and very proud to say that I've been educated by Dr. Jay. Dr. Jay is a renowned Ayurvedic scholar, a clinician, and an educator. Quite a combination. Rachel, could you just turn your video off, please? Thank you. He comes from a family of Ojas, and he's the director and chief clinician for the Kerala Ayurvedic school and clinic in California. He also was director of Ayurvedagram for many years, which, if you don't know, Ayurvedagram is a wonderful clinic and spa in India that does all types of Ayurvedic treatments. I was there, and the buildings are amazing. They came from all over India, and I learned a lot when I was there. So Dr. Jay is going to speak about mind care and life care, and there can't be a more appropriate time for us to be able to hear about the Ayurvedic ways of healing the mind and looking after yourself. We've been through very challenging times in the last year and last 14 or 15 months. And we seem to be coming out of this. And I think this is a perfect time for us to really start taking care of our body, our mind, and our spirit from an Ayurvedic perspective. So I will hand this over to Dr. Jay, and thank you very much for coming, Dr. Jay.
Thank you. Thank you, Erica, for the nice introduction. So happy to be here. I appreciate Ayurvedic Association of Canada for taking this initiative to bring more conversation in the community about Ayurveda and to share this knowledge to make our communities better, the people's lives better. So I'm so glad to be here. This is my passion, sharing this knowledge. This is my life mission. Wherever I go, whenever I get an opportunity to talk and share the experience and knowledge and principles of Ayurveda, I will have the happiest moments. So thank you for inviting me for this particular session. And today's topic is a very relevant and most important one. Not only just considering an year of pandemic or the time we are in, the overall, that could be you take a country or the whole globe. this message, this principles what I'm going to share today, we need to keep sharing this. Because, mind care is life care. Okay. You will see what does it mean. And I prepared few slides for you to have. Always the visuals are also helpful. So before I get into the topics, some of you may be new to an Ayurvedic conversation. Just Ayurveda is a natural holistic life science from ancient India, built on the principles of nature, the human beings, and the relationship with the nature, the sun and the moon and the wind and earth and water and fire. Since it is built on the principles of nature, whether it is 5,000 or another 10,000, Ayurveda will be still relevant and most important because the principles of nature never changes. When I always, mention about this 5,000, 6,000 years, people think that, oh, it may be an outdated science because it's old, very old. Even the antibiotics invented 10 years back is irrelevant today. There's a new version. So we think always a new version is better. But this is not just a, story. This is a system that implemented transplantation surgeries before 1000 BCE. So many centuries before the father of modern medicine, Hippocrates. A system that clearly explained about even the physiology of speculation and instinct, which even the most advanced science is not able to figure it out. We are still at the amygdala and hippocampus working on that. Holistic system that covers all facets. It's a holistic science, covers body, mind, spirit, individual, family, social, all the aspect of human life. And most importantly, Ayurveda says we are an integral part of this nature. Everyday nature is flowing through us. The definition of life is a period in which the nature flows through this form is called life. Every moment in the form of food, water, breath. And when that flow stops, that event is called death. So every day we are nature in, we are out. Constantly recycling. So keeping up nature clean, balanced, properly protected is equivalent to you are keeping yourself clean, balanced, and properly protected. Ayurveda is very, very clear about it. Even while picking a herb, there is a honor, there is a respect. There is a chant to seek permission from the birds from a tree when you take a branch of a tree. It respects every aspect of the existence, whether it is animals, birds, plants, everywhere. So now, just to help you understand, today's topic is about mind, how important mind in our life is. This is the definition of health in Ayurveda. Health is a combination of balance of the functional energies, we call it dosha in Ayurveda. Well-nourished, balanced tissues, balanced digestion and metabolism, balanced elimination, pleasant and vibrant mind, senses, and the soul. And you see the center dot, right? The mind. What does that mean? Because that status of your mind is influenced by all the aspect of your physiology. At the same time, your status of the mind can influence your nourishment. When you are under depression, not able to digest, your Agni will go down. A state of mind can alter your digestion and metabolism. Your doshas will go out of balance. Your tissues can go out of balance. And your elimination can. So that means the body and mind are not two separate units. It's a single unit influencing each other. And if these factors are intact, the bodily and mental factors are having that strong bond, right? Bonding and balance. Incidentally, this structure is a tetrahedron, which is the bonding of the strongest bond. What we know so far is the diamond. That bonding of our mind-body function together. And the glow coming from that bonding, like the diamond, that is called Ojas, or the vitality. Generally, people think Ojas means it may be just, bodily energy, sexual energy, physical energy to do exercise. No, it's a very profound principle. It is the expression that says strength, stability, calm, and grounding all together. It's a calming glow. It is not agitating glow. The calming, stabilizing, soothing glow equivalent to the glow of moon. That's why many a time, whether it is a herb or a formulation, anything that enhances the vitality or ojas is always compared to the moon and the glow of moon. Indukandam, Chandra Prabha. These are all the glow of moon that which enhances the ojas. So that is not only for the body, even for the mind. As you have your vitality or the ojas better, you are going to be more grounded, more calm, more stable. Body, immune system, hormones, the mind, every aspect of it. That is why if you look at the ancient texts of Ayurveda, all the process, dietary guideline, lifestyle guidance, practices, everything is towards enhancing the ojas, because that is the basis of health, balance, harmony, peace, and longevity. So everything is towards this. Let's directly get into the mind now. This is the definition of mind in Ayurvedic, text. Mind is the sense beyond the senses, which perceives the emotions like happiness, sadness, and respond accordingly. Sukhad yubalabdhi sadhanam indriyam manaha. Mind is the sense beyond the senses. That means your sadness and your happiness is not about where you are, who you are, what you have. We generally think in that way. In a human mind, if I have more money, I'll be very happy. If I have a big facility, and I'll be happy. If I have a good relationship, I'll be happy. We create this requirement to be happy. But Ayurveda says there is no requirement to be happy. Happiness is a state of your frame of mind. Just the frame of mind. There are happy people in small huts living with minimal facility and capability. There are sad people in that big mansions. We think there is a lot of criteria to be happy, but it's just frame of mind. Okay? That is whether you are, even in sufferings, right? Somebody while walking, hitting the leg on a stone and stumbling and falling down, and it hurts. You can take it in two ways. One, oh my God, whom I met this morning. This is a horrible day. It's hurting. My life is so horrible. That is one way of taking that incident. Second way is, thank God, I didn't break my bones. I'm okay. It's pain, but still you are able to keep it in a positive frame of mind. Now, what impact that will have on your overall physiology? Thank God, only this much happened to me, no problem. You wash, apply something, and it heal off. Your chance of inflammation will be minimal. Your mind has so much influence on the generation of the disease and the healing of disease. From a small injury or burn to the most severe conditions. Your mind can influence healing in a much, much better way than any ointment or oil you apply. So The happiness and sadness, it is just the frame of mind. You may ask me that there are a lot of people suffering there, right? Then are they happy? Suffering is always suffering, but able to find a positivity within that is what that makes the difference. Okay. So mind is the sense beyond the senses. And our life is all about the frame of mind. Okay. Why it is so? Ayurvedic text explain that Kaya Vak Mano Bhedena Karma Vitritha. There are only three type of human actions in the whole life. There are only three actions we do. Three type of actions. Physical actions, but even physical actions are mostly managed by the mind. If you want to pick up something, your mind need to tell your hand, go and pick it up, right? Your heart, based on your frame of mind, your state of mind, your heartbeat changes, your respiration changes. So the bodily actions are mostly controlled by the mind. Then mental actions, all the mental actions are controlled by mind. Then comes the verbal actions. All the verbal actions are controlled by mind. That is why I mentioned mind care is life care. That means if your mind is in the right frame, in the right status, able to take the right decision and keep the right emotions as much as possible. We are not machine, we are human beings. Painful things are painful, sad incidents are sad. But are we able to look at in a right way? Or do we have a tendency to exaggerate it? Do we have a tendency to see it in a negative way? That's what it is. Have you ever thought that why most of the news channels are bringing all the problems? Theft here, murder there, bomb blast there. Most of you take daily newspapers, you go to internet news sites, you watch the television. I can guarantee you, most of this will be problems. Do you think the whole world is a completely problem? Not in reality. Not in reality. Don't think that everything is bad everywhere. There are a lot of great things are also happening in this world. Lot of great things. Lot of people are getting supported. Lot of people are saved from their agony, from their poverty. Lot of good things are happening in this world. But still, why we see only negative news in our newspapers or on internet? It's not about who is writing it. It is not about the newspaper agency who is putting in that. It is all about the audience. Who are the audience? Me and you. We are knowingly or unknowingly more catching. Our mind is catching the negativities. We are staying on that website a little bit more time, looking at what happened, who put the bomb blast and how many people. That is the only thing, criteria for anybody to put anything in television. The more people watching, they'll be promoting those aspects. It is natural, it's a business. So this learning about why it is so will help to start shifting the human consciousness globally. And it is high time. It is high time for us to reframe ourselves and help other people to reframe themselves, to look at more positivities, to minimize the negative emotions, worries, etc. So from where it will start? It will start only from us. We may think, oh, only me, one person, what change it can make? This whole world is nothing but collection of me and you, right? Then you may ask, why? Why human mind is looking for negative or attracted towards more negativity, negative news, negative images? That is one particular, I won't say aberration, the tendency because of the nature of the mind. Because mind is subtle. There's no physical organ called mind. And mind is only one. These two makes the problem. Why it is a problem? If mind is one and mind is subtle, subtle means there is no physical structure. There is no organ called mind. There is not even one cell called mind. If there is a physical structure called mind, it would have been much easier to handle mind, because then we can dissect it, we can cut it, we can change it, we can add something. But we don't have an organ called mind or a cell called mind. That makes it more complex. Since it is one and subtle, it doesn't have any barrier. If it is a single cell, it cannot go from anywhere else. If you are in a room, your mind will be also in that room. It cannot go anywhere. Why? Because there is anything physical will be only in one location at a time, and only now. It cannot go back. It cannot go to the future. Fortunately or unfortunately, mind is subtle. Because of that, it can go to the past. It can go to the future. While I'm sitting here, I can go to my village in Kerala and come back with a fraction of a second with my mind. That means mind is constantly mobile, if you want it or not. Anything that mobile, there is a quality called rajasic, rajas. You know, mind has three qualities: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva stands for the purity, clarity, balance, harmony, seeing everything positive. Always stand for purity, clarity, devotion, trust, truthfulness. Tamas, the literal meaning of tamas is darkness and dullness. It is the extreme state of inertia or dullness. Whereas rajas is extreme activity and intensity. So anything which is moving and active will be more and more stimulating, active, and rajasic in nature. Since mind is only one and subtle, since it can move anywhere, anytime, human mind has naturally having a rajasic tint. That rajas is making us more happy with more activity, happy with more sound, happy with more flashing light. You know, when I teach in my class, I always say that, think about how our childhood or our parents were living, how fast their life was, how our life is now, how our children, they are working. The speed is increasing from generation to generation. Humans can adapt, human system can adapt, but there is a limit of adaptation, not in the pace how the world is going. It does two things. As the rajas, because of the movement activity, the rajas increases. To satisfy that rajas, it needs more intensity. It needs to see more activity. I was okay to wait for a minute when I got my first computer to open a web page. 1 minute I was okay. I click and wait. It will go and go and go, and I was okay. But now I'm okay even 10 seconds to wait. My son will not be okay even for 2 seconds to wait. He will say that, Dad, we need to change the internet speed. So the human mind, it's longing to be more active, more fast. And rajas has the nature of looking at, because rajas is not a balanced state. And it always wants to exaggerate its own quality. We naturally, as human beings, have that hidden tendency. Until and unless we are conscious about it, we want to make a conscious shift from that, we are going to be in that trap. That is where the mental disorders are more, right? Much more mental, emotional disorders. You can take the statistics global. Not in Canada, not in North America. You can take global. And not only just mental disorders, physical disorders, functional disorders influenced by or exaggerated by mind. Think about autoimmune disorders. Think about the obesities and cholesterols and, all those conditions. Because the body mind work in conjunction together as a unit. Whenever your mind is stressful, stress means, what is the meaning of that? That means crisis. I will talk about it soon. How your body mind system react to stress and how that changes your life. If you really understand your mind, you will have a positive attitude and better health, that positivity, to have happiness, peace, and bliss, ability to accept the reality of our life and work with it to make it better, to be creative and productive, to reduce the dependencies, to increase acceptance, cultivate universal love and harmony, able to understand that, since I'm an integral part of the nature, every fellow human being is a part of this one world family. That is a fundamental Vedic principle, Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, one world family. Because everything is influencing each other, supporting each other. Do you know that honeybees are an integral part of our existence? If all the honeybees stop working for a few weeks, we are out of this world, right? So there is a dependency, there is a connection, there is a harmony, there is a knowing, unknowing contribution to each other. If you're able to keep your mind in the right frame, you'll be able to perceive that, palpate that, to make our own life better and others. To gain higher wisdom, realize the psychic abilities, right? So ultimately, to merge with the cosmic consciousness across the cultures, if you really look at it, the salvation, the liberation, all
person,
your mind can facilitate.
Algebra, every piece of work that's ever written, that doesn't make any sense.
So,
hold on a minute.
Into the ground. That doesn't mean you know everything.
Roger, can you please mute yourself? You're
okay.
All right, there we go.
All right. So now it's all in and out as I started the conversation. All information coming in through the 5 senses and all our action going through the motor organs. This is about life. Every event in our life, from birth till death. All 5 senses receives the information. The internal mind processes it with whether it is judging, decision-making, intellect, or storing as an experience. And based on what is decided by the intellect, your action goes. Either you say that, I love it, I need it, or I say that, oh, I don't want it. It depends upon. So the information coming in, the action going out. So how your mind processes it, your whole response to this world will be accordingly, right? So it is the frame of mind. It is only, it is one and subtle. And that makes this, desire or aversion, oscillating into this both extremes, oscillating into the extremes. The mind that makes you happy, excited, joyful, eager, patient, kind, generous, the same mind can make you sad, depressed, anxious, frustrated, stressed. And these are all relative. These are all relative, right? You have a lot of money, you are putting in the stock market. Why? You want to increase that. It's not that you have scarcity of money. You have a lot of money, you want to put in the stock market. 1 plus, you are happy, 1 minus, you are sad. Does that make any difference in your daily eating, sleeping, spending time with your family, leading your life? Your 1 million became $1,001, or 1 million become, 900,000, 99,999. It's just mind. I'm just giving an example. So listening to our mind, understanding our mind, able to support our mind is not only just supporting you and your mind, it is supporting your whole self, and that will support the whole family self, that will help the whole community self, and that will help the whole world. Somebody else respond will be how you respond. If you have the right frame, you respond positively. The response back will be always positive. When you respond negatively, something bad is happening, I'm going to fight against it. Are you putting fuel to the fire, or are you putting the fire down? Right? Whenever there is more social issues going on, it is more time for conversation, positive conversation, harmony, mass meditation, satsang, if you want to bring it down. And mind works in all these areas: reception of sensory perception, judging, recollection from the past, analyzing the same, retention of the required, and discarding unnecessary. The discarding unnecessary and retention of required depends upon your frame of mind. What really impacts you? If you are constantly reading the bomb blast and the other thing, and that is the constant memory you are feeding, your whole mind is going to see this world as a problem. Then you are scared, you are uncertain, you are insecure, you are sad. All these 4 emotions, according to Ayurveda, can aggravate vata, leading to all painful inflammatory conditions, degenerations, and depletion. Right? You watch that dreadful stories and etc., your pitta is going to increase. You are going to heat it up. You are going to have all the anger and frustrations. You are burning excessively yourself by inflaming your own anger and frustration. It's not going to help. Mind can really transform. I don't want to make this talk too complex. This is a little bit of a technical side, but I need to tell you that mind is in a very strategic location in our existence, very strategic location between our inner consciousness and the external world. It's a very strategic location between our inner consciousness and the external world. If you are able to tap into your real self, the real self, able to keep your mind calm, able to see things as is, able to witness your everyday life and do the best with a positive affirmation, your life can change. Because the deep inner consciousness, you as a human being, your self is calm. Your real deep self is calm, tranquil, and witnessing. Right? The soul within you, the spirit within you. The self within you is naturally calm. Nothing can contaminate. Then what is contaminating, what is creating that problem is the lens through which all the light coming in is the problem. Where it will be exaggerated or convoluted. It's like a mirror, right? You have a plain mirror, you will see the image as is, reflection as is, perfect. If it is a concave mirror, what will happen? And if it is a convex mirror, it will happen. The mind which is restless, the mind which is rajasic and tamasic are either concave mirror or convex mirror. It exaggerate what is happening, or, these days, after 1 year, now looking at the number, okay, 500,000 people died. We became numb, right? It's okay to see 500,000 people died. It's just a number. It became a number. There's nothing much. But when the first person passed away due to the COVID, 1, 2, 100, this is human mind. It can get numb based on how much you are perceiving the exaggerations and the problems. You can get used to it. That is not a good path. Somewhere we need to shift. Otherwise, this exaggeration is going to go. Because whatever you perceive, only what you remember. That's called the memory, right? Memory, based on Ayurveda and the Yoga Sutra, Anubhuta Vishaya Asambramosha Smriti. Memory is the recollection of your past sense perception with the current context. That act of connect is called memory, not the storage. That means if you keep on watching these news or what is out there in the social media, etc. If it is disturbing, the disturbance is your memory constantly. The problems are your memory. Everybody is developing PTSD without any isolated incidents, looking at the global incidents. That makes us more negative, more weak, more vulnerable, more insecure, etc. Talking about stress. As I mentioned, there are only 3 human actions in this life, right? Whenever we do the human action beyond the normal threshold, we have a threshold. We know how many pounds we can lift with our body, right? That means there is a threshold. If you lift beyond what you can lift, that is called stress, according to Ayurveda. Tatra kayadi karmano ati pravartiradi yogaha. Whenever the one or multiple of these 3 actions, physical, mental, and verbal, when you do beyond your normal threshold, that is called atiyogam, excessive exposure, stress, stretching beyond what you are supposed to. That causes depletion and degeneration. The more you are depleted, the less stable you are, the less strong you are. The more degenerated you are, more vulnerable you are. That could be to pandemic, that could be to another stress at the office. Stress is a major thing that is influencing, that is causing ill health, not only just physical, not only just mental, even physiological and physical and hormonal. Let me tell you what happens. Many a time people ask me that, hey, Dr. J, you mentioned that stress means excessive exertion that depletes. But people are saying stress can cause obesity. It is nourishment, right? It is not depletion. Stress can cause diabetes. Stress can cause cholesterol. How that? It is a very interesting phenomenon. Your body wants to survive, and your body wants to really help you to live longer, to be healthy. That is why when the water level goes down in the body, dehydration, body will crave for water, and that water is the medicine for that. When your nutrition level goes down, you feel hungry. So your body always, listen to you and outside and keep on supporting you by bringing certain, longings and desires. Whenever you are under sustained stress, your body will perceive it as a crisis. Whenever you are under constant crisis, stress means crisis. You know what body does? Body really want to support you. How to support when you are in crisis? Keeping all the resources ready for you. All that source of energy, because to combat any crisis, you need more energy, more resources. Body is going to accumulate more and more resources for you to manage your stress because you are in crisis. Unfortunately, the easiest resource that can give you energy is fat, which can be converted into energy quickly by body, sugar, direct source of energy, and cholesterol. Whenever there is crisis, to repair the tissues. So as you continue with the stressors, body is going to accumulate more fat, more sugar, more cholesterol, and it exceeds its limit. So that means managing your mind and, stress. Who is there without any stress in this life? Everybody is stretching, and we are getting into the same imbalances. Physical, mental, verbal, exaggerated requirements, expectations, multitasking. Multitasking is only an idea, right? If you have only one mind, you can do only one thing at a time. If you are trying to do 3 things, you are compromising all the 3. You are not putting your complete you in any of those. And finally, it can lead to degeneration and depletion. See, the anxious or the imbalanced mind causes altered immunity, metabolic disorders, and inflammatory response. The altered immunity, metabolic imbalance, and inflammatory response in the body triggers anxiety and depression in the mind. Then it became a vicious cycle. A healthy body will contribute to healthy mind. A healthy mind will contribute to healthy body. The same way, it is not just one side, a bridge. It is both the ways. A sick mind will feed the sickness to the body. A sick body will feed the sickness to the mind. This is what exactly happening in this world at physical, mental, and emotional level. And you know, such profound principles from Ayurveda. Now, I'm not just going to leave the problem to you. I'm also going to give you some solutions, some light. Many a time, the problem again, as this Rajasic mind, exaggerated exposure to our mind to everything, right? We can only be value exaggerations. That is why the loud sound in a concert, I was sharing with my student on the other day. After coming to America in Seattle, there was a concert by an Indian, film singer. So I went there. I got a VIP chair in front, a ticket. And I'm there with the family. The concert started. I was not able to sit there. Thug, thug, thug. It was so loud. And I saw a lot of people jumping and enjoying and marrying to that exaggerated sound. So only exaggerations are able to satisfy us. That is going to make us more and more depleted. Now, the question is how to manage it. If our life is based on our frame of mind, the most important thing is to open your eyes. Open your inner eyes. Sit with yourself and analyze yourself, where you are, who you are, in what status you are. I can guarantee you that if you really look at yourself in a mirror and ask, what is the status as a human being in this world where I am? I can guarantee you that you will find yourself much better than even 80% of the world population. Because 80% of the world population doesn't have 3 meals a day, or a place to sleep comfortably, or a clean clothes to wear every day. These 3 together, 80% of the world population doesn't have, right? But do we have? Even in the 20 cream layer, 20% of the most blessed people on the earth, the question is, are we really happy with all the blessings? If this 20% is not happy about their life, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. That problem is not outside, that problem is inside. We need to manage. We need to manage our own internal self. Because based on that perception, our life changes. And Ayurveda and yoga offers a lot of tools for us to change that frame of mind, to see things in the right way, to understand the life in the right way, to understand the purpose of this life, and able to facilitate that change. And if you start doing that, you will feel that your internal self is better, and your family will start perceiving the life is better, and that will percolate into the communities and the whole world. That is where we need to keep sharing this knowledge. Ayurveda offers a lot of dietary, herbal, and lifestyle guidance to make life better, to bring balance, both body and mind, right? And that will not only bring the harmony and balance, it will also enhance the longevity, more ability to contribute. And that harmony and strength in the body supports the mind, right? You can easily understand that. One day, if you are really constipated, you know what is the status of your mind, right? You will be groggy and cranky. And so it's an influence of your bodily imbalance on your mind. One day, if you are really sad, you won't feel like eating. What's the connection between eating and the mind? Eating is physiological, because that sadness, the emotion, slows down the digestive secretions, make your Agni weak. So that means a bodily balance and health supports the mind and the mind. Since the human mind, regardless of age, regardless of geography, Since that human mind has the Rajasic tint naturally, mind is naturally having a Rajasic tint, you will have to intentionally transform that to be more sattvic and positive. Otherwise, naturally, it has a Rajasic tint. That is why there is a genesis of a whole science called yoga. That is why the yoga genesis. Because what is yoga? Chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti nirodha. That means naturally your chitta, your mind has a tendency to get affected, get, and also you should, see that word used. It is not yoga chitta vritti rodha. Rodha means block, stop. The word used is nirodha. Nirodha is slightly different from rodha, blocking. Many a time I see people saying that yoga is controlling the mind, disciplining the mind, holding the mind, restricting and restraining the mind. Not really. Because all these are forceful. What I use is forceful, right? Stopping the mind, restraining the mind, restricting the mind, disciplining the mind means somebody else is doing it to make the mind. That is not the idea of yoga. It is nirodha. What is nirodha? You use various tools in your mind-body systems and in your behavior so that the mind can stay balanced on its own. It is not somebody else is controlling the mind. It is nirodham. Using the tools, creating a space and a state where your mind is able to stay in a single state, able to see the reality as is, able to take the right decision. Then the question is, what are those tools? There are 8 tools given, right? From yama till, it's a progression of human mind. It's a transformation of humans, aligning with the outside world, yama, till stay aligned in an unlimited way, the samadhi. It is from chaos to tranquility. That is the journey. It's a journey of human being. It is not 8 different tools. It's a progressive journey from aligning with the outside world to aligning the inner self. Yama aligning with external world, niyama aligning with yourself in self-behavior, asana aligning with your body, pranayama aligning with your breath, pratyahara aligning with your senses and the mind. Dhyanam, stay aligned for some time. Samadhi, stay aligned in an uninterrupted way, unlimited way, as much as you want. It's a progress. That will change our entire behavior, the social, ethical, behavioral aspect. And it helps body, helps mind, helps physiology. And if we can, that is why Ayurveda and yoga are always learned it together, practice it together. You can go to any centers of Kerala Ayurveda in India or anywhere. There will be, you go for an Ayurvedic protocol, yoga is an integral part of your daily regimen. You go for a therapeutic yoga program, Ayurveda will be an essential part of that process. That is where Ayurveda and yoga together. So the inputs, the food, water, breath and perceptions, the lifestyle aspect of it. What is lifestyle? What you do on an average day-to-day basis is your lifestyle, right? Then there are Ayurvedic therapies, external and internal therapies, Ayurvedic Panchakarma, the cleanses, rejuvenation, strengthening therapies, administration of rejuvenating. That could be dietary or herb formulations, rasayanas, regular yoga, meditation, breathing. These are all tools available for us. Every day we can implement this to make our mind better and our life better. Many of the tools are self-governed tools or, more which can be applied yourself, right? Whenever I consult, I tell them my first sentence is Ayurveda is a very simple natural science with a very simple but profound principle. What is the first principle? While all the diseases are happening in our mind-body system, all the system to heal the problems are also working inside our mind-body system. The healing mechanism is not in the hospital. The healing mechanism is inside us, right? The digestion, metabolism, hormones, immune system, everything is within us. We are the primary healers. We have that opportunity. We have that capability, provided we know how to manage these aspects of input, the food, water, breath, and perceptions, the lifestyle, and we should be ready to spend few minutes. If you spend 10 hours in front of the computer as a software engineer, spend 8 minutes or 10 minutes for your health every day. Simplicity and consistency are the watchwords. Sleep is one of the 3 pillars. Okay, I was just having a conversation with the organizers before the webinar started. They were saying that we heard somewhere, even 3-4 hours sleep is okay. I told them I have a different perspective. Sleep, according to Ayurveda, sleep is one of the 3 pillars holding the life in correct balance. Ayurveda says your sleep time is much more important than your awake time as far as your health and longevity are concerned. Why? From the time we wake up till we sleep, it's only wear and tear. Physical wear and tear, mental wear and tear, and sensory wear and tear. The only time our mind-body system heal, repair, replenish, recoup, and rejuvenate is during the deepest state of sleep. Now, then why some people are okay with the 4 hours of sleep? There is a secret behind it. What is that? This recuperation, replenishment, healing required only when you keep on depleting your system. If you are mentally stable, if you are able to keep that positivity, you are able to see things in a balanced way, you are eating in the right time, in the right way. That means your depletion and degenerations are minimal. Your recuperation requirement is minimal. When you are in the chaos of every day, too much physical stress, mental stress, sensory stress, you are already depleted yourself at the end of the day. You may need much more time sleep to recoup yourself. But if you're an individual who trained yourself how to stay calm, how to see things in the right perspective, how to accept things, work in a systematic way with a stable mind, your recuperation requirements are minimal. It should be okay to sleep 4 hours, but not for all of us. We work from morning to evening without any limit, going through all this chaos of our worldly life. Many spiritual masters, if you can, there will be a lot of articles about the ancient sages, they lived, how they lived. Their requirements of recuperation was very minimal because their disturbance was very minimal. Why? Their mind was ekagram, single-pointed, tranquil, and clear. They were able to clear everything without any judgment, everything clearly. That is why they were enlightened masters, mean they are able to see everything clearly. So when you are able to elevate yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, your recuperation requirement is going to be less. But till that time, please sleep well. Okay. So I'm giving you 3 tools which you can directly use to heal the mind without the help of the body. 3 tools to balance and heal the mind. One is Dhi. Dhi Dhairya Atmadi Vijnanam Manodosha Aushadam Param. Manodosha Aushadam. The ultimate medicine for healing the mind. Okay, Param means the ultimate. 3. Dhi, Dhairyam, and Atmadi Vijnanam. Dhi is the intellectual awareness. Be intellectually aware that this world right now is a chaos. There is no way to do that. It is not only negative things are happening in life. After all, this is only, with this mind-body system, only one life, few finite years on this earth. And we all lived a good number of years by now. We have few more years on this earth as a human being. what best we can do every day, right? Able to face the life, support ourselves the best way, support our family members, our friends, community, and the entire nature and the world, and keep going till the nature call us back. And the success of life, according to Ayurveda, is when you are ready to go away from this physical world, are you able to touch your heart and say that I have done my best to keep that balance, harmony, and support, and do my dharma, whatever I was able to. And I'm so happy about what I've done. Thank you so much. If you're able to say that, straight promotion, liberation. If you're clinging with your guilt and shame and attachment, etc., we can go through again. So being intellectually aware about the reality of life. Why here? What is the purpose? What I can do the best to make a positive shift in oneself and others. Second is dhairya, the determination to pursue that. The courage and the determination, the confidence to pursue that every day, step by step. Nobody can change in one day 180 degrees, but that deep awareness and intention can help you to stay, make the positive shift every day. And the third is Atmadi Vijnanam, spiritually aware. Spirituality in Ayurveda is not about religion. Spirituality in Ayurveda is universal spirituality. We are here for a purpose, born for this nature, right? And need to contribute the best and living our life peacefully and supporting everybody. That is the overall. So more of self-care and taking care of others, supporting others and doing the best and finding happiness in that support, whatever we give, keeping the mind in the right frame. We are not here to fight. We are not here to blame. We are here for peace and happiness and able to support others in the same way to have that peaceful, happy life. That is the message of Ayurveda. Life is so simple. Life is so precious. Only finite few years. If you can keep your frame of mind in the right positive way and address your life every day with very simple steps, 3 minutes of alternate nostril breathing. Don't tell me you don't have time to do that. 2 minutes of deep breath, that can itself can bring your mind more calmer. Alternate nostril breath between the fight or flight sympathetic side to the grounding parasympathetic side. Those type of very simple practices, simple, steps in our life can make a huge difference. A positive difference in you is not only just for you. It's for your family, your friends, your community, and for the world at large. Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would be happy to answer any question you may have.
If you have some questions and you would like to unmute yourself, please do, or you can put them in the chat box also. Whoa.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Dr. Jay.
Please.
Can you just speak a little bit about the use of pharmaceutical intervention in the mind and just daily drugs or sleeping pills, and how much that influences your daily protocols and the things that we do in Ayurveda? And not that, it may not be.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get your question that, see, always, every coin has two sides, right? Everything has its own plus and its own minuses. Somebody who is not able to sleep at all at night, it is the most severe torture what you can get. Not able to sleep the whole night is the most deadly torture for your whole system, mind-body system. And if you need to get a support, try to do your best and naturally, etc. That is the best option. Otherwise, some people will have to go for something. And it will have its own side effects. The key will be to minimize the requirement from our side using the natural tools. Because whenever you take something that pushes you into sleep as the chemical reaction, that will have its own other issues. You are feeling heavy, groggy, and not fresh, and your mind you are not able to think clearly, etc. A lot of things. But sometimes the issue is, people with sometime with a serious disease like cancer will come and say that I have this, they are suggesting chemo, I don't want to do it. What do you think? I always tell them it is Dr. J or B or C. Your health and life is most important for us. It is an informed decision. Sometimes side effects are better than allowing the disease to progress. So no point in, getting, oh, that is bad or this is bad, or no blanket statement. It is informed decision based on the real information, right? So always, especially regularly taking sleeping pill, etc., is definitely a big problem for your future, the mind, the memory, etc. Try better to minimize and try to avoid as much as possible. There are a lot of natural tools available to support a healthy sleep. Thank you, Erika.
There's a few questions in there.
Okay, let me have a look at it. Dr. J, if we seek justice for others, how can we not be feverish or rajasic? Very good question, Anu. Okay, speak justice for others. It need not be you need to be rajasic and feverish to have justice on others, because it is our thinking that if somebody is fighting, we need to fight to manage that. Or there is somebody making a wrong rule or a particular rule, we need to fight against it. The fight should not be rajasic fight. There is sattvic fight available. There are a lot of stories in front of us as a part of sattvic fight, right? I always bring Mahatma Gandhi when it comes to that discussion. He didn't go for harming anybody. It was not rajasic. It was totally sattvic, but he accomplished what he needed to accomplish, right? There's a way that that is much more powerful. It may take a little bit more time. It may take a little bit more mobilization. I always say, if you don't want something to happen in this world, changing or transforming the human awareness is the only way to make changes. There's no other changes. I always take this example. In 2019, one of the fast food chain, they closed their 779 outlets in America in 1 year. Why? People are getting more health conscious. It is not getting viable. So if you want something which is not good for the world and community to stop, changing the human consciousness and awareness and taking collective decision, not to encourage, automatically it will change. Okay. So it need not be rajasic to handle problems. We can still handle it sattvically, collectively. Mobilize people more awareness. Dr. J, Ayurveda students sometimes get confused as practitioners give mixed messages regarding Western medicine. How do you treat the current pandemic vaccination needs as a way forward? And how does Ayurveda see this and what we should do? Okay, thank you, Chalaya, for that question. It's an important question. And, this is another story of the sleeping pill or the chemotherapy, right? It's the same story. It's an informed decision, what we need to take. We may have 2-3 strong points why you should. We may have 2 or 3 other strong points why you should not. And both need not be right or wrong, right? Then the question is, you as a human being, you need to take an informed decision. One of my students asked me about a month ago that, hey, Dr. J, I'm reluctant to take the vaccination, but my mother is bedridden. I'm the only person taking care of her. I need to go and visit her and taking care. I'm worried about her health if I am not taking the vaccine. It's a very valid point, right? It's a valid point. The same way, each one of us, we are not small kids. Each one of us, we need to understand what is the best for us in our stage, in our life, in our situation, what is the best, and we need to move forward with that. There is no right or wrong many a time. There is There is nothing. There will be both the sides. It is you, your context may be different from my context. It is more of an informed decision taken by an individual. I know that this answer became a little bit diplomatic, but that's the truth. I'm not diluting it and making it diplomatic. That is the truth. Okay. All right. How do we all tell about this to the youth? According to me, youth are more perceptible. Young generation is much more perceptible than the adults. But only the thing is, you need to put in the right frame. You need to tell why. Generally, our problem is for kids, we have only statement and orders. Don't do it. I won't give you that, or don't do it. Don't tell me that. We always either restrict or we pass orders or we one statement. Don't talk to me again about it. It won't work in the current generation. They are much more smarter than us. The young generation is much more smarter than us. If you are telling them something not to do or to do, you should tell why in their own language, which makes sense to them, logical. And you should tell, if you do this, what is going to happen. If that fits into their logic, no need of any reminder. I also have a 17-year-old at home. I'm not just telling some theory. You be the best buddies to your children. That is the best thing what you can do. They should be able to come and talk to me, talk to you anything. And you should always have a positive, affirming guidance from your side. They will seek your help all the time. If you're able to keep that frame. Children are much better than adults. I'm telling you, this is my experience. I work with a lot of children, not only at home, okay? I work with a lot of children. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think that's it. I don't see any other questions.
There's one more there, Dr. J. How do you avoid depression and anxiety, please?
Oh, okay. How you avoid depression and anxiety. Okay. You know, depression and anxiety comes from things are going beyond your threshold. Your mind has two responses. Either you exaggerate and catch up and manage, or shut down. These are the two things. It is like your, household wiring, electrical wiring. When the electrical energy, the voltage increases, there are only two options. Fuse will shut down. To avoid fuse shutting down, you put two big wires in the fuse, the house will burn. So house burning is anxiety and shutting down is depression. So it's about the threshold of your mind, how much you are able to handle. Ayurveda says, whatever be the mental health problem, regardless of anxiety or depression, strengthening the mind is the only thing to sustainably come out of it. The more you are strong in inner core, the more threshold you have to handle your life. So Ayurveda says, Medhya Rasayanas. There are many in that category. There is Brahmi and Gotukula and Guduchi, and there are many categories, even herbs. Or all these practices, what I mentioned. The more stronger you are, the tendency to fall into depression and anxiety. I was just teaching about this last weekend for our Ayurvedic doctor students. About so interesting to see in Ayurvedic classics. You take whether it is schizophrenia or depression or all those conditions. Ultimately, for everything, there will be rasayanas that strengthens the mind and your ability to cope. That is the only way to handle. Okay, thank you for that question.
Thank you, Dr. J. It's just about 10 after, so we'll have to end the questions.
Definitely.
Sure. I would just like to say thank you. You always give inspiring words to be able to let everyone make individual decisions. And that, I think that's the most important thing about being a practitioner, is to be able to help people make their own personal decisions about how to create health. So you taught me that. You do such an amazing job of that. So thank you very much for all of it.
Thank you.
And Neelam, would you like to say a few things before we close?
There is nothing much to say. It was very interesting education, and we thoroughly enjoyed it, and so much practical tips for the mental health. And we would like to invite you maybe with another topic in a few months' time. And it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us your time and important education. Thank you very much. And also we would like to thank our participants for supporting AAC. And please visit our website, look at the new webinars and promotions that we have, and please support us. We are able to bring this webinars and important education components only with the support of our members. So please become a member with the different categories, and we seek your support in bringing awareness of Ayurveda in Canada. So feel free to contact us if you have if you need any more information. And thank you, everyone. I don't think so there is anything you want to talk about.
Great job. Thank you for organizing this. We all collectively support all the organizations, because this is a movement. This is not an individual's mission. This is a community mission to make Ayurveda available to more and more people. So
we were such a small community and few directors, and I'm always happy to see so many new faces coming and attending our webinars, and it's always so much exciting, encouraging for us. Erika, you want to talk about our next webinar?
Yeah, I will for a moment. We do our webinars every 2 weeks at the Ayurvedic Association of Canada. And our next webinar will be on longevity, which is, I think, a very interesting subject for many people.
Yes.
Because the population is getting older. So just watch for us on Facebook and on Instagram. And just always remember, you are amazing human beings, and you're amazing for supporting the movement of Ayurveda in Canada. And so I thank you, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care, and thanks, Dr. Jay.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.